You
Yeah.
know, the pilot of the pilot.
The pilot
Just to
before the
feel it out.
pilot. This is the secret. This is getting uploaded unlisted and no one will ever see it. I
Oh,
think
this
that.
is for the Patreon subs down the road who love the
Yo!
podcast so much.
Tier
They're like,
10 simp.
you want the bonus episode that hit the cutting room floor while
The
we had it
lost
saved?
tapes. The lost tapes.
This is the one where he says about, oh, you gotta hear it.
I'm gonna bleep that because I don't want you to go down.
Thank you.
Alright. Let's play some video game. I gotta
Okay.
very quickly switch off hipster so no one knows I'm a sweaty gamer. Engineer gaming.
That's right. I would play Double Scout for it, but
Well, I want to win,
Scout
so
Scout. Yeah, I was thinking about thinking something goofy, and I was like, let's just use old reliable.
as soon as the content creation comes on, he's already getting flamed every time. Oh, let me pull up the list. I'm like a
Yeah, you got
pro.
any questions for me, man?
When you put it like that, no. All right. The first one that anyone got was from one of my big Twitch guys. Is where do you see DRG 2 to 5 years from now? So let's say 2, because I think 5 is definitely DRG in maintenance mode, and that it's not
Yeah,
probably not getting any more major updates. But what does DRG look like 2 years from now to you?
I think 2 years from now, it's gonna be okay. Is it wishful thinking or like what do I
Let's
expect?
stick focus on the positives because I know we're both thinking the same things.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think that in 2 years we'll maybe have a good final wrap up update, Maybe it'll have just happened or something.
Will be like right around the corner.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am. I mean, like 5 years. This is like, you know, content expansion for the game that I'm talking about, like dev support and stuff.
Yeah,
Community stuff. Oh man, who knows?
yeah.
But
I'd say
like,
just like main body stuff because I mean we already have mod support, so they can just open up like one or two more locks on that, and it's gonna be like full blown.
Mhm.
We're just running away with the game at that point. Like people are gonna be
Um,
making their own missions.
well, my 2 to 5, I guess, is a little bit more closed up than 2 to 5. I will say that in between now and I think the end of days, I hope to see a few more of the paid DLC cosmetic things. I would like to see a big, like, sweeping quality of life patch. I don't know if that happens, but like a quality of life patch for those veteran gamers that just have like,
Yeah, you're not wrong because there's gonna be a lot of mods over the next couple of years, or
mhm.
probably the next couple of months that are just baseline, like
Yeah.
that are gonna be mandatory.
And I think that there are some game companies that they'll see like really good mods and they'll be like, huh, that mod is so good and people like it so much, why don't we just put it in?
I mean,
I would love to see a big patch like that where it's like, these are just strong and we could put it in the game and they don't
I
change
mean,
too much.
if they just cleaned up the menu a little bit for Fabulous Molly, it would be ready.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it would still be a little like jank because some of the materials you can like see through, but you could just, put that under like the secret menu or something in the settings. Just be like, flip this switch for secret Molly.
Yeah.
It could be like an Easter egg that everyone knows about it, but it's an Easter egg. Like, dude, put in the Konami code and you unlock custom Molly forever.
Um, I guess the last thing that I would hope for is that they finally get around to fixing the some of the outstanding stuff that has been there since release of the game. That I feel like they've always been, hurtling forward with stuff and not really focused on like bugs that were there long term. I kind of hope that some things gets revisited, like Unstoppable not doing what it says and
That's
stuff like
true.
that.
Yeah. And what Strong Arm does
Mhm.
has an issue as well.
Yeah, and this past patch has increased my thoughts of that happening, the modding patch, because so many of the little hotfix showed like they fixed grammar and spelling errors all over the game, you know?
Yeah, but we
And
still
that,
have gameplay bugs.
yeah. But
So
at least that means they're going to do it, because often they've just left the grammar and stuff all messed up, which is fine.
yeah, I never really noticed it anyways. I just look at the numbers and punch go.
Uh, GSG, big secret for myself, I don't know how to read anyways, so you were
Yeah,
good. You didn't have to fix that necessarily, but
your English is way better than my Danish, so I'm gonna hold
yeah,
my tongue for once.
yeah, not a problem.
There it go.
I got
The,
it. I
the
got the
chunk
two
that
more kite.
the chunk that got away. Alright, so here's a good one. So, after a couple thousand hours of the same 7 missions, what is it about the gameplay loop that keeps you going and keeps you playing?
The first five. Uh,
That's fucked up.
I'm sorry.
I love refinery.
Yeah, refining's great.
Alright, the first 6, we can agree on that.
What keeps it going? I mean, it's nothing to do with progression and stuff. It's the gameplay. So
Yeah,
it's like I hate to say it's the tagline of like danger, darkness, dwarves or whatever, but it's like
I think the
it
new
definitely
tagline is
is.
better.
It
Danger.
is the danger. It is the nature of these like terraformable spaces that you also do battle in. I don't think any other game has it be as raw as this, you
Yeah,
know?
and
You're
like
just thrown in and you do have to figure it out because you are gonna get attacked.
it's not as raw and inconsequential, and I think that's like you always hear, oh, it's like Minecraft but like Left 4 Dead, but the thing
Hmm.
is like Minecraft, you fight a creeper on your lawn and it blows up, you gotta deal with that. That's your lawn. Here it's like
Yeah.
I just go fucking hog wild every day
Mhm.
and I just break everything that moves, and I never have to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
I'm not going back along with my terraform. I'm not going back with the platform gun filling up holes before we leave a cave, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do that before an objective, but that's to gain a tactical advantage. It's like a push and pull with the bugs, because the bugs can break things, and so can you. It's just that we have the ability to build things as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a variety of tools, and within the tools, there's like a real sort of at least seemingly deep complexity to what is gonna work in the cave to influence the fights, you know?
Yeah, and then there's also the things that you don't like. We're still discovering interesting things. Like embedded debts was kind of like flying under the radar until like a year ago,
Yeah.
or I guess like 6 to 8 months ago. But why didn't I freeze that? I don't know. But uh, yeah, like there's always little things that just come like wriggling out, either because something else got nerfed or something else got buffed. And it just gives you a new, or you just find something that you've never used, and you're like, oh, this is kind of fun. I'll play with this for another couple 100 hours. And
Yeah.
it's,
I think
it's it's the tightness of the gameplay that makes those tiny little changes be noticeable and enjoyable to play around.
yeah, for sure. I think that one of the newer things that I've kind of started to see that I didn't notice before, but like in the like plus 1,000 hours, going forward kind of thing, I see that like style is a part of it too, because certain players have a certain way of playing, they have a way they always hit their classes, and if they don't, they have a way they always approach certain fights and stuff, and I think that that's kind of an exciting part of the game is watching how people play in their play style.
Yeah, there's a certain pizzazz,
Yeah.
and people that dare to venture off the meta.
Hmm. I think that's exciting, because you can change with the like tools, you can change the cave and the way you fight, and then there's also like the individual's play style, how they change the fights and stuff. So I think it's
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. That's what keeps it engaging all this time later.
and I think that's what also like sets, because like I won't go into detail or name names or name games even, but some games like have content creators that it's like, yeah, like this content creator belongs to this game, but do they really play it any differently than the best players? Or does this
Hmm.
is this person only a content creator because they are the best player. Like I feel like DRG, we just have a in a lovable way, we just have a bunch of like oddballs and weirdos. Like we're just a bunch of lovable scamps just doing shit.
Hmm.
And like none of us are the best at it. I'm not. I couldn't tell you who the best player of any class is because they really don't make themselves known. I don't think.
Hmm. Yeah. That would be challenging to say. I'll say. Oh, I need to get a resupply, dude. Nitro? Did we call one and I just didn't
I
get it?
may have dropped it
Oh
at the bottom
no.
of the pit.
Oh, it's okay. It's over there. I see.
Missing everything. Hold on.
Um, Ishanka said this before when I talked to her about it. She said like the game is the game after a while. What makes it interesting is the players, and I think that's true. To some extent, like seeing how people interact with each other and the game is what makes it so exciting to be a part of that live, like in the lobby with those people. That's what makes
Yeah.
it feel so alive to run the same map gen over and over. Is just how is X going to react this game when this happens, and being a part of that.
Yeah.
And I've said for myself, my mantra is like, you know, this game is good when the people creating content for it play it when they're not live all the time, and
That is
everybody
true.
does. They grind. Everybody who streams it all the time also grinds it all the time because I mean I don't know if addicting's taking it too far, but it really is like such an amazing game you can't put it down.
Yeah. It
So
just. And even that's why another thing with like the sandbox saves with modding, and it's really kind of scary to see people being like, "No, I won't play anymore if I have to play on a sandbox save." It's like,
yeah,
whoa, like I thought like you guys are actually serious. Like I thought we were all just gaming, you know?
yeah, that is kind of a weird line to draw
Yeah.
because
I don't
even
mean
if you're
to,
on sandbox, just because you are on the sandbox save doesn't mean that you have cheated yet, you know, or anything. Like
or you
you
ever
can still
will,
play
like
regular game on sandbox save anyways.
bulk. Yeah, bulk.
Oh, bulk, okay.
But
I'm coming. I had to come out of that tunnel, dude. Or that pit. It was pretty far.
yeah, I don't mean to derail that though because it is interesting to. That is very notable. And oh god, that
What
is
hit
an
you, dude?
in bulk. I got too cocky with him. Haha, bump. Speaking of off meta and jank, oh, I kind of like stunned him on me, actually.
What is happening?
Oh, he's
Wait,
feared.
why did?
He was stunned and
Because of the.
feared. Yeah.
I
See you
see.
in hell. Get out of here.
Nice.
See you in hell,
I
baby.
just read a little bit about how that mechanic works and why it works
Yeah,
recently.
fear is really good. It's
Yeah,
just not a lot of things do it that aren't
yeah.
like really good choices for other things. Once again, derailed, but yeah, like that is I've never really thought about that. It's like you don't see a ton of creators for other games playing the games for not a gain, I guess. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah. Usually they're prepping some of their other
yeah,
content or whatever.
they're like grinding out new Destiny raids and shit to make
Yeah.
a video on or something. But
Mhm.
here it's just like I just go into other people's streams and I just ham for hours. Like I don't even always say anything. I just like throw a joke every now and then and we're just chilling.
Any dirt? Oh, I see.
Yeah. I mean, I can share the gossip if that's what you meant, but
Oh no, no.
no, not again.
Not again. Um,
As far as they know, it's a joke.
Let me set up for this.
You got any interesting thoughts though? Any
Do
like
I have any do I have any
question?
questions that I would throw into the mix for this?
Yeah, for I'll, if anything, like not even applicable to us. Like anything you'd ask anyone else, lower level, higher level, like
I would ask the question that I would wish the devs would ask me,
which was
but they never will, which is if there was a whole subsystem to add to DRG, what would it be? And that is like to say something equivalent to the perk tree, the perks, the weapon mods on weapons.
so another like upgrade scal kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
like something to add another level of depth to that player impact, you know?
yeah, Like
Either
player
it
player
could be in the
agency.
macro, it could be in the progression even. It could be like in addition to the assignments, like what if you had some sort of macro assignments that were just like a job board on
Yeah,
top of the assignment board. That,
like
like it's pretty
bounties
open-ended.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, bounties, sure.
Whatever,
It could
whatever.
be any of those kind of
They
subsystems.
go by many names, but it's like passive assignments almost,
Hmm.
or like. I mean, we kind of have stuff like that with the miners union. It just doesn't really have a tangible result,
Hmm.
which I think is kind of missed
Oh
opportunity.
yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about that, but that is sort of like a half-baked subsystem that is there, you
Yeah, I
know?
mean, it's good, but the thing is, you can't really set out to kill shellbacks.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's not
True.
like. And I never see a shellback and go, well, I'm not going to kill that because that's not the objective this month. It's rolling towards me, I'm going to shoot it. Like, it's kind of cut and dry.
Yeah. So
And
it's that would be my question, and that's what I would ask other people in your position going forward is there a subsystem? You might have to give them a couple examples, but
yeah,
if I were to answer that for myself, it would firstly be kind of problematic because there'd be some power creep because I would add something that would add variety to the classes, like something like perks or more mods, but a different system than that. I think, add something that adds some like
class.
equipment slots that are like temporary, that are like you can use it once and then it's gone. Uh, but you have access to a number of them. It'd be like equipment, like a consumable, I guess.
So how would you get more? Is it like a card system or?
Well, I think that having some sort of like way to purchase them or acquire them, I would definitely never want more like overclock, you acquire so many a week situation. But like for example, there's already partially this system in the beer buffs, right?
Yeah, the
And I would
barleys are kind
probably
of.
use those other like those beer resources that are only used for cosmetics. I
It's
would use
true.
that to like do potions. That's the easiest way to kind of explain what I mean.
It's not a bad idea.
I think that'd be kind of fun.
Something I'd like to see is another arm of the perk tree. Is like maybe it wouldn't take much reworking, but leave the current perk tree alone. Rework how many perk points you get from the existing
Ah, yeah.
milestones, and then add class specific perk trees that
Oh,
are
yeah,
like they're like shouldered by each other. So
yeah.
you need to put perk points. You need to get 3 perk skills in each class before you move up to the next like collective tier. So it
Yeah.
really incentivizes like putting some, because even if you never play gunner, you gain all these points with scout and put them into gunner. So you kind of have
Mhm.
like you have one foot in the door without ever even booting the class. So it gives you that incentive and agency to go play gunner, even though you've never played him, you've gotten 1% stronger. Or you got this little like niche skill or whatever.
Yeah. I've definitely seen that sort of thing in some roguelike games. There's a very, very simplified version of that in Gunfire Reborn.
Yeah, it's all stats in Gunfire
Yeah,
pretty much. There's a couple interesting things that are like the main focus of it, but yeah, I
right.
know what you're talking about with Gunfire. Maybe I could pull up those graphics if anything. I could pull up those skill trees and look at some of that stuff, but like
No, that would be
in
cool if you
post
have class
processing.
specific stuff. I think that would
I
actually help
I think that's a
some of the
very
game.
dangerous can of worms to open, because
Hmm.
then like you give Scout an extra 5 mineral carrying capacity, then we're gonna be right back into the same boat of, oh well, Scout his job is to be the mineral pinata. A gunner
Hmm.
gets an extra 5% ammo. Well, I can only shoot things and ping minerals from the ground. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm the ammo
Yeah.
guy. You have the extra mineral capacity. So like I think I devil's advocate myself a little too much on these things, but I think it'd be really interesting because we already have extra perk points lying around, so I don't think it's a bad idea to revisit
Yeah.
that system a little bit.
It would be kind of there's probably some way to fix that because people have been critical of like why do we have so many perk points? And then it's like, well, not everybody's going to do the same milestones. And I think really
Yeah,
the more critical question is like why is it this system that we're using? Because maybe there's a better way to do this, you know?
Yeah, I think if anything, we should just add like a because I think that's also going back to the whole like why do you play the game for so long? We're past the point now, but there's a lot of and there's a lot of goals and completion marks, like quote
Hmm.
unquote, that aren't really acknowledged by the game. Like whenever you get your last cosmetic overclock, it doesn't fucking spray confetti everywhere. It's not like you did it. Now you can
Yeah,
play the game. It just kind of is like, here it is. Here's the last one. And then you
yeah,
start getting mineral containers. So I think it's the almost the lack of acknowledgement in a lot of the systems. Like don't get me wrong, like promotions are treated right. You get the whole speech and everything, but with other systems where like you it's almost like a slap in the face with crates, but it's like bittersweet. So it's like
yeah.
you got everything from the crates, sucker. Nothing else for you now. Go somewhere
Hmm.
else. It's like it's very like in keeping with the management is flippant towards our existence kind of way,
Hmm.
but it's also
Yeah,
like it brings you closer to other people is because it's like the game doesn't pat you on the back for getting all this shit, so you go to your friends like, hey, I got my last crate thing. It's like, oh fuck yeah, like nice. It indirectly builds that camaraderie by not giving you any positive feedback from the game
yeah.
itself. I mean,
I think
as
that there are, this is kind of building off this a little bit and not what we're talking about, but I think there are a section of players that are alienated from Deep Rock because the focus of Deep Rock is almost 90% gameplay and its reward. The good thing is Deep Rock's gameplay is so tight and good that you can play this game for thousands of hours and not have a problem. But
yeah,
there are a lot of players who are really progression focused and they look at it and they go like, so wait, what's the point? There's like no narrative, and you gotta get overclocks,
and I'm
and that
time
you're in the
gated.
end game when you promote the first time, and that's like a few hours from when you buy the game. I don't know if I want to play that, you know? And that's being really dismissive of the whole game because that's not what it is. But I think it does push some players away they would otherwise be interested,
I
you
think
know?
it's really hard to explain to someone who goes on the subreddit and asks if I should buy the game what an overclock is and why they should care and not be disgusted.
Yeah. And it's hard because they'll instantly compare it to some other games with their own systems.
Yep.
And it's like you have to explain how some of these things are exactly identical, but then, there are whole systems that are missing from other games. Oh, hello.
Yeah, he kind of just popped up. And then Deep Rock just elegantly dances around this shit by being like, yeah, like you can only get so much of this per week, but
Mhm.
play the game and enjoy it just as much as a shiny new toy.
Yeah. They don't have to put anything in for me to, dude, you got me, dude.
I did.
You got me with that one.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was trying to get the bugs.
Tricked me.
You got stick bug. Alright, now get up
They
and
don't
do
have to put
DPS.
anything in for me to keep playing, you know? So part of me is saying all this is like, well, if they're gonna add something, some secret thing, then hopefully it'd be something to appeal to people who are not me, that need a buy-in.
That's
That's
what
my
I've said
other.
for. That's what I've said for a long time. Is like I am literally less than 1% of the player base, and I don't expect to be catered to anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, it's cool to get new stuff that applies to everyone. That's what I want is like cargo crate stuff. But you know, I'm a little underwhelmed by the tutorial rework and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
miner's manual. But like, I understand that that's marketed towards people who aren't me, and aren't me is the majority of people. So
Yeah.
it's hard. I'm not able to be bitter about that in good faith. It's just whenever like new stuff goes in the cargo crates, that's what I'm looking for, because that
I don't
doesn't
know,
hurt
man.
anyone, and I
The
get
miner manual
something
is
to do.
kind of hot, brother.
It
I
is
like
like
that.
fucking all you hang on. All you need to know about the game is right. Where's the Mactera? Go down to the grabber. His attack, hug. There we go. That's all you need to know. Hot gameplay tips. Smarter than me. All right.
Did this crawl to us from another cave? Oh, I see.
Yes. Yeah. It did. It made us a shortcut. There's no more dirt, right? We're done here.
Yeah, that's it. Time was really flying, dude.
That was good. 23 minutes, not bad.
Alright, is there other questions, man?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. Like, I just don't want to burn through them all too fast.
Alright.
What else we got? I'll try to find something quicker, or something that we won't go into the weeds for hours on. Oh, not that one. Definitely not that one. That's something we usually mauled about, so I'm not even gonna go there. Alright, there's a pretty cut and dry one. Most favorite and least favorite mission type. I think we have one of these answers is the same.
Well, my whole thing got shifted around when they reworked Dreads and added the two new ones. I'll say that for free. My list before that was very different than my list is now, you know?
Yeah.
Favorite and least favorite. Right now, my least favorite is Doretta. Both in multiplayer and in single player. And favorite, it's hard to say. I think maybe surprisingly, eggs is my favorite mission type right now. From gameplay purely.
Yeah, that I was about to say. If you know, on a gameplay standpoint, yeah, I agree with eggs is probably one of the better ones, and I understand why you'd say that.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I think if we're splitting it up into solo and multiplayer, also, I think that adds an interesting layer to it.
Yeah.
Because solo is just for gameplay perspective. It definitely Doretta is my least favorite because it is designed for multiplayer. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pretend that it isn't. Like the fact that you can't repair and fight at the same time is crushing. Requires you to play 3 times harder than any other
Yeah.
mission does in multiplayer versus solo. And like
Right.
in a way, I like the challenge, but at the same time, like it's not.
It just, yeah.
I
It's
can do that because I'm vetted. Like I've been doing this for a long time, and also I've been doing the escort solo majority of the time, practicing and knowing that it's the hardest thing and really grinding at it. And I've gotten to a point where I can pass them consistently with every class. But I'm not going to pretend that it's something I'd recommend for anyone to do.
yeah, it's definitely is a challenge, and in that way it is nice for us to do
Yeah,
for that added challenge. It is undoubtedly in my mind a unintentional challenge for how
yes.
difficult it is to
That's what
do solo has 5
I was about
Doretta.
to say. It is a challenge for sake of having to be in 3 places at once.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it wasn't even balanced to really even be, like, the same way. Like, whenever it first came out, the rock phase was nearly impossible in solo. Like, you would lose at least 2 plates. Like, without question. Because it had no scaling whatsoever. It was 4-player difficulty at all times. And even now, it's still 4-player difficulty health on the rocks. It's just less, and they stop sooner. So there's that. Even now, it still has like lingering traces of that, so that's questionable. But so in multiplayer, I don't think Doretta is my least favorite in multiplayer because there's actually like it's a flowing rotation.
Hmm.
It has roles that aren't defined by class, and I think that's really important. Because like in
Hmm.
every other mission type, you kind of get people that are like, oh, the scout is doing this, scout has to do this, driller does this, driller digs tunnels for pipelines, engineer platforms things for scout, scout collects minerals, gunner sits on the ground, pings and shoots. Like that, people get away with that, but in escort, you have like moment to moment improv gameplay where it's like gunner's on Doretta and it's dying, scout's over here doing something, gunner's having to hold the repair to keep something from breaking. Now the scout is coming back and it's in his hands to save the situation. And then you might have the exact opposite situation happen 5 minutes later. So I think there's
Yeah.
actually something to be appreciated in multiplayer escort and like just flowing class rotation where at some point everybody gets a chance to be the fighting class, everybody's repairing, everybody's collecting minerals that are within reach, stuff like that.
That is true. I definitely think that it is a very dynamic mission for multiplayer and has a lot of redeeming qualities. The reason why I keep it still lowest in multiplayer is because prior to this, I really disliked salvage, and there's one thing that stands out to me about these two missions that no other have is this other reason why it could fail. They're the only two missions that are not dependent on a wipe.
That's true.
And that's the thing with Doretta, why she stands out as being the lowest for me, even in multiplayer, is that the entire time, at any point if Doretta dies, it's over. So, at least in salvage, you only have to worry about the nodes while you're on them, for them to fail and then you're out, you know?
Yeah,
But Doretta is a constant liability, even though 99% of the time she's not even in threat, you know?
yeah. And I think salvage and escort are almost the opposite way in a way, because salvage
Mhm.
is you get to free ball, do whatever you want the entire mission, and then you have to knuckle down and pay attention right
Yeah,
at the end. Escort, 95% of the mission is spent on babysitting duty, and you can't do anything else. And even straying away to get nitra is a risk, and your team might get
yeah,
upset at you for doing it. And then once Doretta's done, everyone just fucks off and does whatever they want.
that's true, yeah.
So that's definitely a thing for sure. And from a gameplay point of view, probably for solo, probably I think point extraction for solo, just because it'll be
Yeah,
different than my multiplayer picks, because every class has a unique approach to point extraction, and in solo you can
yeah,
really manipulate it with Bosco. So it's definitely not the hardest or the most interesting, I guess, in solo, but it definitely feels the most like tactile and involved. Like
yeah,
in solo, you're really running everything at once by yourself, and it's multitasking, not it's not required multitasking like Doretta. It's like skilled up multitasking. Like you can go around and pickaxe each a quark out by yourself, or you can do it as a scout. You can have Bosco digging one. You dig one out,
mhm,
throw it, go to another, dig it out, or dig it halfway out, get chased off by bugs, go get another one, throw it, go back for the first one. Like you can be in every place at once doing 4 different things. But meanwhile, with Doretta, it's like, I can't repair fast enough. I can't get nitra. I can't fill the oil shale. Oh, we lost a plate. I have less of a chance of winning now. Like
yeah.
it's like crushing multitasking, whereas point extraction is, I'm multitasking because I'm good at this.
Will you go back and grab that flea that flew past you, or did you kill it?
I did not. I couldn't find it. But
Alright,
I
then.
will. And I think just for this, while I really do enjoy point extraction, I don't think it's any less interesting in multiplayer. I
Yeah.
think for multiplayer, probably, I think the best like feeling of class cohesion in the game is probably Refinery.
Yeah, I thought you might say it.
I was tempted to say Refinery was my runner-up for solo. It's just because a couple of the
Yeah.
classes really have an RNG-based chance to just have a really bad time. Like Scout
That,
and
yeah.
Gunner can really struggle just because the map isn't friendly to them.
Hmm.
And I mean, you can. It's not undoable by any means, obviously. Like nothing is, but it's just it feels bad whenever you have to dig a little scout tunnel through the wall to get to a pump
Hmm.
jack. All the while,
Refining is my runner-up for multiplayer right now. Uh, I think it's I think it's probably eggs for both.
and then I'd say best for. I need another category still, which is from a late game grinding perspective. Like not just
Mm,
because it's the worst XP, and not just to be contrarian here, but in late game grinding, eggs is probably the worst. Not only because it
yeah.
got nerfed into the fucking ground, but also because you really can't do it that fast, even with a full team. Because any benefit
Mm,
you gain from having a full team splitting up and gathering the eggs is mitigated by the crazy amount more enemies that you get. And that's not to say you can't fight 8 eggs worth of bugs at the same time. Like you'll cap the enemies
yeah.
out and it'll get a lot easier. But like it's just as easy to pull 8 eggs as solo scout and run around as it is to pull 8 eggs as a full team, fight it and leave, or just run through the swarm.
That's true.
And all of that cohesion, like you can do those really cool, like you get these two, I'll get these two, we'll grab these, we'll group up here, we'll fight, and then we'll leave. You can do all of that, and it's actually like pretty interesting compared to like something like Salvage, where it's really just you do that mule, I do this mule, meet me at the bubble, and we both don't die. But Salvage actually is scaled well. Meanwhile, Eggs is just nerfed into the fucking ground to prevent people from farming it, which is really strange. And I don't know why it's the only one that's gotten that treatment, considering point extraction is just as, if not more, fast and efficient as Eggs ever was.
Yeah.
Which I'm afraid to say, but
Yeah,
like,
I would be afraid to even point it out, but
like
I don't want to lose that hot
I think,
point extraction grind, because for most of the time playing the game, point extraction has been my favorite mission overall.
yeah, and
But it's just recently I've been really enjoying eggs with modded support, and kind of the difference between 4 and 8 eggs is like wildly different, the experience.
yeah, that's definitely true. But, like all of the like I'll always reach for a point extraction if I don't know what else to do. It's always a good
That's
time.
true,
Like
yeah.
I think it's my comfort mission for sure, and so it's my favorite in that way. It's just
Yeah.
whenever I like think of like game design and payout and team cohesion and how it fits with the theme of the game. Like if I was like, hey, like this person just came like fucking PewDiePie just came into my stream. Was like, what is this? You have one mission to sell me on this game. I'm gonna play Refinery, you know, or I'm gonna play
Oh yeah, yeah.
like that kind of shit. Like this is a more like comprehensive cover to cover in one single mission than me zooming around as scout, grabbing 7 blue gems and punching a button, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But as someone who knows the game and someone who enjoys that like tactile feeling of like outskilling the whole mission in 4.5 minutes, is like, yeah, this is fun. This is something I really like.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
That's why I didn't list it number 1, is because it does have that effect when you're playing it really clean, that unless you really enjoy that clean gameplay and that feeling of doing it fast and well, I could see other people being like, wow, we didn't even fight the first swarm, this is like kind of boring, you
Yeah.
know. But I just enjoy doing the macro well, so I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. It's like, because we have this, like, from the outside looking in, it's like, yeah, he did this mission, then he did this mission, then he did this mission. But for us, there's, like, kind of this comprehensive log of every mission you've ever played. It's not, you know, it's not like photographic memory or anything, but there's those, like, just below the surface, like, memories of every mission we've ever played, and it all kind of, like, it comes together to a grayscale, and we remember things that stick out from the edges significantly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
whenever those missions flow particularly well, we can see like the line that it traces, like that was better than last time, or that was worse than last time. Here's why. And whether or not we're thinking about it, we're kind of isolating the things we're doing wrong, and that's kind of why, like, after a while, even before like that whole like 5,000 missions deep mentality comes up, you start to see the patterns in the terrain, and you can kind of like feel the way the caves are shaped, and like the way they bend, and you can see, without really looking at it, you can see what's around the corner. Just based on, you come into a room, you don't see a lot of resources, you're like, oh, there's probably a lot of resources around the bend because of that.
Yeah.
Or
You definitely do get an intuition about everything from all those previous experiences.
Yeah. I think that's probably another thing that keeps people coming back, is like just the subconscious knowledge that you gain from playing a lot. I don't know how I didn't hit that weak spot on that menace. It's a great game. It's a great example of mastery.
Yeah.
I forget some of the other games that I saw a video on that a while back. It's like how games make. I think that was Joseph Anderson video that I really enjoyed. So I hope I'm attributing that to the right person. But it's like how games treat mastery and make you feel good about doing the same thing repeatedly, but also improving at it every time. Is like this game is kind of like both ways, like kind of mastery, kind of progression, because it really fools you for the first couple hundred hours into thinking that you're unlocking upgrades and you're unlocking overclocks and you're getting statistically stronger, but then you get to the end of that rope and then you just keep getting better somehow. Like you stay, I'd say once you get all the overclocks and like, well, at least all the ones that you want, you continue to improve the same amount. I'd say once you get all the overclocks, the average player will be at 50% of their potential skill level.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that varies because it depends how much you play every week, additionally to unlocking overclocks. So that's a pretty like questionable estimation. But what I'm saying is like when you get to the end of the stat leveling experience, there's still a lot of just like gameplay flow that most people don't have yet, which is understandable because it takes a long time to get some of this stuff
Yeah.
to the degree that some people have it.
I think that what's funny to me is like the game's progression is it's so far away from when I was leveling up, but I've done hardcore and I remember like looking back at the stuff. The thing that's interesting to me is like as you play and you're getting your first levels and you unlock something that's like +5 uh length to the flamethrower or something, or like faster reload speed or something, you're going along with the mods, like you're also improving mission to mission as you understand the macro and the objectives a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you go to a new class and you understand the macro and you're on a really weak class. And a lot of people have this kind of gut reaction that's like, oh God, like I played a lot of scout, but now that I'm playing engineer, I think I hate it. And it's like, well, part of it is like you have a much better macro because you have promoted scout twice and now you're playing a new class for the first time. And it's base. It has to level up, but you also have the learning pains of like you forgot to use the platform gun the whole time,
Yeah.
dude. You know?
Like you
Like,
played 50% of a class on that mission
yeah,
because
yeah.
you switched to the platform gun and be like, ew, this isn't a grappling hook, and put it away. So
I'm calling out nobody here because I'm calling out a lot of people because it's happened to me many times. Many faceless names out there. I've played with bronze through silver gunners that just spent 3 missions in a row and they didn't hit 4 once, you know? Not a
yes,
problem. We'll make it through. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to criticize you about it, but even after all that time, you got all the promos, you got some unlocks, like sometimes they just forget to shield, dude.
yeah.
You know? They just forget it's there.
Your team is standing next to you and you're getting run down, and it's like jump and shoot. There is another way, believe it or not. I definitely. I had my buddy who I started playing this game with. He's like 200 and high 200s now. He doesn't play too much anymore, but it took him for an absolute eternity to shield.
Yeah.
I was always roast him about it. 'Cause it was like, we are
Yeah.
dying, throw the shield.
It's just how it goes, you know, like the improvements on your class happen faster than the improvement of your skill
Yeah,
throughout the game, you know, and they give you all the tools way before you're
ready to use
fully
them.
ready in the game. I mean, there's going to be people who are obviously really good from the get-go and have experience from other
Yeah,
games and stuff, but still, it's a complicated game, and there is no handbook at all. DRG doesn't hand you a guideline for how to create the spaces to fight in DRG. That's for you to figure out and do yourself. By the time you're a master at creating rooms to fight in and exploring that space, you're hooked on the game.
yeah. It's too late for you. You're gone.
Yeah.
By the time you're good enough to understand to leave a bad review, it's over for you. Yeah, it's. I think that's what meshes so well is like, and even once you start to like kind of feel like you're pushing the limits of what you're doing, you either find something new to play around with, or you just start enjoying the flow of it, and you forget that you felt capped again, and then you get a
Yeah.
little bit better. Like whenever I started making YouTube content, and this was a big like I don't even know if humble brag's the right word, but I was like, man, like I am great at this. And now I look back at those videos where I was like level 8, 900. I'm like, oh my god, I was so slow. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, I'm just like crawling around. I'm doing nothing. I'm like backtracking. I'm running back and forth, collecting nothing. Like, what is going on there? Like, I'm refusing to shoot guns. Like, I always talk about it. Like you expend your ammo, expend your ammo. You're always gonna get more. And then there's me finishing missions with like me kiting enemies around as driller, so I don't have to shoot them with a cryo cannon. Like, what? What's happening there?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
It's
I suck, so I can't relate, dude.
bruh.
Bruh. Vine boom.
EPC. Don't worry, you are the 1%.
I do have all the achievement unlocked. I did stand on that silicate harvester, man.
Yeah, fuck those things. But no joke though, it was so much easier when they didn't go up walls, and it was still hard.
Yeah.
I've done it once since that update happened, and it was less than pleasant for sure.
Well,
Here's a good one that I'll probably use on everybody and hopefully get the same answer from. Is if you woke up in a room with no doors, no windows, containing a bed, chair, desk, and a computer that can only play DRG, how long before you go insane?
can I just do I sustain myself?
Yeah.
Hmm. Can I see other people play? Is it just the game? Is that like it? Yeah. Oh
Let's say you
boy.
can play with other people. For the sake of it is a co-op game after all.
Hmm.
You have bot teammates. How about that?
So the problem is I think I've been doing this for a while. So I'm not sure if I'm insane already or like I don't know how this is different from my normal life, I guess is the
Yeah, it's like
weird.
I'm just in a windowless room right now playing Deep Rock.
Yeah.
They let me out for 1 hour a day. They're like,
Enough stipulations in this reality, bruh. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
I think though if it was like really limited, I'd probably say like a good month actually. And then maybe the sides of the eyes would start, hallucinating a little bit.
Yeah. I have
I'm out of ammo.
a somewhat similar answer to your first thing. Go ahead and get it. I can hold them. I have a somewhat similar answer. Your first thing is I think that is the least chance of me going insane in any possible future.
That's true, yeah.
Me in the room with DRG and no outside input is the safest place for my mental health.
Yeah, that's probably fair. You kind of have to like asterisk let me have the calculator, that it gives me an extra week. If you let me have the Steam forums, that takes 2 weeks away. I go
Yeah.
crazier a little bit faster. You know what I mean? Like
You give me Reddit, I'm like already crazy before you close
day
the
one,
non-existent
yeah.
door. Like, yeah, I don't even get into the room at that point. Just took horrific fall damage horrific damage from an exploder.
Is my frame rate capped at 30? Because
Yep, 5 minutes. Is my frame rate's capped at 30? I think I have about 30 frames before I go insane.
yeah,
I see it and I just retch.
that's the hardest part of playing modded is when it really dips while recording. Then you're just like, ooh, you know.
Stinky. Remind me there's a curse site on the way out of here.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it was like up a ledge.
Extra time. Oh boy.
Extra time with the squad cast.
I think about anything else that I would want to talk about.
Favorite weapon? You can only pick
Favorite
one.
weapon? Cryo cannon. It needs buffs.
Oh yeah,
That's my
true.
meme answer.
I don't like cryo cannon because it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's underpowered. Justice for cryo cannon.
I'll give you two answers. Like all-time favorite weapon is EPC. My favorite right now in this instant is actually the PGL, which is crazy because I
Here you go.
have been a huge fan of the breach cutter for a long time.
The
But
bloop,
right now I'm feeling PGL a bit.
the bloop of the grenade launcher is irrefutable.
Let me see. Yeah, EBC is just solid. I hit scan weapons are cool. I like almost all the weapons that are not hit scan more than any of the hit scan ones in general in the game. And
That's interesting.
PGL I really like because Hyper, Fat Boy, RJ, and regular PGL all are 4 different weapons, and
Yeah,
you have 4 different weapons in one gun's kind of sick.
it
So
really is the most like diverse weapon
yeah,
for what it is on a fundamental level.
yeah. In that way, I've been enjoying Engineer the most lately, but it's definitely not like my fave class. But right now, it's just been kind of cool. What about you? Any favorite weapon, long-term favorite weapon now, kind of
Sabata,
thing?
I'm gonna leave the call.
All right.
No, I refuse to elaborate because it gives me something to
We
rag
had
on.
the same gut reaction, which is just like
Leave.
pick pick 2 polarized weapons and say that, and then just mic drop.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I mean, I'm pretty sure to be polarized, you have to have a positive and negative charge, and I don't see any positive in Sabata, so.
Well, it is a hit scan weapon. I guess
Didn't
it
you just say
is.
that was a negative?
That's a negative for me.
Oh, that's a negative
I,
for me then. Alright, back to the thing.
oh, you want me to hit this button, huh?
Oh,
Okay, so you had a meme answer. Do you have a?
um, it's really hard. There's
Yeah, it's hard.
four whole classes.
I was picking between primary and secondary, and none of the other stuff as well. It is still a lot of options.
Hmm. For both gameplay balance and feel, for versatility and like interest. Damn. Missed the chance to say impact axes. Uh, just trying to think of what weapon I use the most overclocks with.
Well, I'm just trying to first let's figure out what your long-term baby has been. If you have one weapon that you just feel like defines how you play
I
and
know what
what you
my
want.
answer is,
Oh,
and
okay.
the only reason I refuse to is because I don't want to be a scout man.
Yeah, yeah.
It definitely is M1 though, because it's the one weapon that I've held longer than any other without putting down.
Yeah.
I went from I think level probably like 30 to 900 without equipping the GK2.
Yeah.
That's fucking not a good, not a brag for sure. That's a very closed off play style, but I ran this thing for a stupid long time, and I think now at this point I'm using pretty much every overclock on it in some capacity. Like I use minimal clips for pretty much all of that progression aside from going back and forth with hoverclock, and then started using hoverclock religiously, starting to mess with stability system and obviously hipster whenever I really need that power now. And the only things I'm really not using are supercooling chamber just because it's unfortunately not very good, and I don't really use minimal clips anymore just because I find it a little boring, but the numbers are in support of it for sure.
Hmm.
Ammo. Yeah, got probably M1.
Okay. Is that still like your current vibe, dude?
Yeah, nah, I rarely use GK2. Just like it, that's my no think gun. In the way that hipster is my like stream overclock, GK2 is the no think gun
Hmm.
or critical weakness gun. Honestly, I probably should have brought it on this mission, but it opened me up for this conversation while using M1 at least.
Yeah, I do usually use GK2 in crit weakness. Like I will go
Yeah,
play scout and play GK2 when it's up.
it's definitely a better pick, like irrefutably, because you can
I
just.
just
Oh, it broke all the salt crystals. That was neat. Yeah, it's absolutely the better pick for crit weakness, because I'm wasting so much damage, like, in theory, with
Oh, with
this right now.
overkilling?
Yeah, like, doesn't bother me, realistically. Like, I still have plenty of ammo, but GK2 would be fucking getting 10 times the mileage.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're also a what's the overclock for shotgun
Special
that you
powder.
like? No. I mean, NG shotgun, Warhawk.
Oh, cycle overload.
Yeah, you're a Cycle Overload fan,
Yeah.
which is also really heavy damage, but it works because of just the nature of the game, you know?
Yeah, the nature of that gun is, if cycle overload really doesn't have a negative other than the spread, because everyone's like, oh,
Mhm.
well, you dump your mag so fast. It's like you can single fire, like you don't have to shoot it all.
Yeah.
It doesn't change it. It just gives you damage and fire rate for when you need it. Like whenever you can shove it in a Praetorian's mouth and just let it go, like that's where it shines, because you're not losing bullets because you're hitting them all. Like whenever you really open up with it, you aren't at risk of missing anyways. And whenever you are at risk of missing, you tap fire it, like you would with anything else.
Mhm.
And also, because this game doesn't have damage fall off, that's a huge thing in its favor.
Oh yeah.
Like, magnetic pellet alignment is a thing because people want to snipe with a shotgun. Well, the thing is as long as I can stick a couple of those pellets to somebody, like, it's still doing the same amount of damage. It's just about hitting those pellets. And
Mhm.
when the bugs are on the ceiling and they're wide instead of long, you know, they're easier to hit with more pellets at extreme ranges. So that web spitter will still die in 3 or 4 shells.
That was hard for me to get into that pod, man.
That was tricky, for sure.
Like Tom
Oh,
Cruise in Mission Impossible, man. I was scaling the
oh,
mountain.
there's a Mactera in here. A dead
He's
Mactera.
coming back.
He got thrown in. Oh man, that was fun. It was good.
Yeah.
That's a good flow. Pilot episode complete. C-dubbed. Appreciate you running it
Hey,
with me.
thanks to everybody for hanging around.
Yeah.
If you liked what you heard today, be sure to check out the next episode of.
Beep. Hey there, Future Chronos here. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of the Drop Podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Next time we'll have a different guest, so make sure to check it out. I think you guys will really like the next guest that I have on, so stay posted. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I do stream over on Twitch. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.